Welcome, and thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I'm going to talk more about not only what happens today at your visit, but what is really going to happen at your next visit, which is referred to as our final results and strategy session. So really helping you plan for that and giving you ideas and different options for long-term success. So I'm just going to start with the agenda for today. And again, we're going to talk today at your visit about your transition phase. And then this video is mainly preparing you for your next week's visit. And you probably have heard me or other practitioners talking to you about really taking time to reflect on your experience, because I do feel that oftentimes when we go on programs or we have different experiences in our life, we kind of move through them very quickly. We rely on willpower for certain things. We're in survival mode at most of the time. So really taking time to reflect, which I will talk a little bit more about. So at your final results and strategy session, we're going to review your before and after photos and your metrics. We're going to assess and help you better understand your symptoms and metabolic health status. You're going to learn strategies to maintain your weight loss and a healthy lifestyle. And really, again, it's about planning for your final visit and your next phase. So again, reflection is so important. Take time, grab a notebook, think about the last, whether it was a month, whether it was 3 months, 6 months, whatever your program looked like. Think about some of these things. What did you like about it? What did you not like about it? What changes would you be able to sustain based on what you learned? What changes will be more difficult? What are you still struggling with? What are your triggers? And just start to write down these things. And most importantly, write down why this is important to you. Most people are most vulnerable for weight gain within 1 month of completing a program. So study after study shows that changes become habits when at least 6 months of direction and/or structure is implemented. And again, personalizing a plan is key to success, because we are all individuals. We all have different lifestyle needs. We have different nutrition needs. And so really identifying and becoming more in tune to what you need and what is sustainable is very, very important. Health and weight loss is multifactorial. We talk about it all the time. And it's not that we're going to address all of these things. We are about really hitting the foundation so that all of the other things fall into place. So when you think about personalizing a nutrition plan, there are many ways to eat healthy, and it's really ultimately about what is going to work for you. Some questions that you can ask yourself is, what foods that you're eating make you feel worse? What foods make you feel better? Because we should be able to identify those foods that, cause GI distress, or maybe we eat and we get tired all the time right after. So really digging into how your body feels after you eat. Thinking about how you're getting everything you need. Have you, kind of laid out a plan as far as like calories, the amount of protein, carbs, etc. Because that is important for you to have a basic understanding of that. How will you maintain an active lifestyle? What habits and lifestyle changes, can be sustainable for you? And how will you practice, awareness, intentional choices, mindful eating? Again, getting and removing yourself from the rat race of not even acknowledging half of the things that we're doing throughout the day. And this is a practice. This takes time. But that's why we're introducing this to you, so you can kind of slow down a bit and first and foremost, really acknowledging what you're eating and nourishing your body with. So there are many different ways to eat healthy. And this is all going to be up to you. And this may change over time. There's low carb eating, there's keto, intermittent fasting, clean eating, paleo. Are you plant-based, vegetarian, that type of thing. So you may be drawn to one of these eating styles. And those are the things that we want to know when you're coming in for your final visit. Some basic eating guidelines, if you are really kind of still confused as to what you should be doing more long-term, is really, staying away from the processed boxed foods. Again, I talk about this all the time, but the preservatives, the additives, the coloring, the flavoring, the things that are added into these boxed foods are going to continue to hold you back, because these things are stored in our fat stores. Our fat stores will become inflamed because of it. So think about trying to just eat whole foods whenever possible. The majority of people on this planet need to avoid dairy and processed gluten. So the really unhealthy breads and cereals and pasta and things like that. Making sure you're drinking at least 80 ounces of clean, pure water. That does not include bottled water. This includes getting either a filtration pitcher or some type of filtration system for you to have access to clean water. Eat organic whenever possible. Meat, I believe that, we should always be eating organic meat. And then there's, the other products that are out there. There is a list that you can Google called the Dirty Dozen. And this is fruits and vegetables that are most highly doused with preservatives and chemicals in the processing. So if you're not really sure, and you're trying to determine, where you should start for organic, then you can search Dirty Dozen and focus on those foods. Snacking can be a problem for people, as Americans, adults, we really don't require snacks throughout the day. If we're eating 3 meals a day, we shouldn't need to eat throughout the day. Of course, there's going to be times where we're going to eat between meals and that type of thing, but just always remember that we were really designed to eat 3 meals a day and kind of spread that period of time between meals so that the body had its ability to do really great things during that kind of fasting period. And when we're eating all day, it makes it really difficult for our body to go to fat stores, because if we're just eating, even if it's healthy, fruits, vegetables, a granola bar here, then our body's just going to go to that fuel source for burning. So keep that in mind. And eat fruits and vegetables. This is something that not many people are doing nowadays, and this should be really the foundation of our diet. So I'm going to talk about just some general maintenance guidelines. This is general, but this is incorporating all of the different food groups, and this would be after your transition. So most women will do really well on approximately 1,250 to 1,400 calories. So what that looks like is protein, 8 ounces, fruit, 1.5 servings of fruit, veggies, 3 to 5 servings of veggies a day. Grains are really going to vary. We'll talk about that depending on your metabolic health. And then your fats, 2 tablespoons or 2 ounces a day. And then most men will do well with approximately 1,600 to 1,800 calories. Some absolutely will need more, but these are general guidelines that you can refer to. This is just a snapshot of what a serving actually is, or what an ounce actually means. Most protein is provided to us in either 3 to 5 ounces. So you can think of like a 3-ounce piece of chicken, and that's going to provide you with around 21 grams of protein. You can kind of see the breakdown of calories and such, but it gives you ideas of what a protein source would be. And then what a serving of fruits and vegetables that's laid out for you there. Grains, you would be really surprised to know how small of a serving a carbohydrate or a grain is. So if you were to have rice, a serving of rice would be 1/3 cup. And then you have your fats, and what would constitute, a fat serving. So that's typically like 1 tablespoon. So it's laid out there for you as far as like how many calories, etc. And what's really important when incorporating fats into your diet is that you should understand and know a healthy fat versus an unhealthy fat, because these can be game changers for your health because of inflammation that unhealthy fats can cause in your body. So your eating plan absolutely depends on your current metabolic health. So we are going to be talking with you about your metabolic health. Where are you at right now? So you finished a program and you are at a new weight. So is this your goal weight, or are you still looking to lose more weight? Visceral fat is super important. If your visceral fat is still elevated, there is work to be done. How do you feel? How you feel is very important. The majority of people that come to us, they don't feel good. They're tired during the day, they have cravings, they are not sleeping at night. It's this cascade of just feeling horrible. And so that matters a lot. Do you have inflammation in your body? We can determine that by a number of different things. And do we need to dig deeper into certain testing? And this here, to your right, you just kind of see a snapshot of our new metabolic health panel that is really amazing, to really look deeper into your metabolic health. What is going on from a foundational level? And then there is your in-body analysis, which we're always focusing on weight and, muscle mass and body fat, but there's a lot that we can determine from this test as well. And that's what we're going to review with you. And one of the most important things is muscle mass. Is your muscle mass within that normal range? Have you lost muscle mass during your program? Because that's a problem if you have. Body fat mass, where is your body fat? Is it still in the above range, or is it falling back into the normal range? Visceral fat we will spend a lot of time, and we probably have talked to you throughout your program about visceral fat, because that is really the fat that causes almost all of the other manifestations of diseases in your body because of the inflammatory response and things like that. And then we will talk about your metabolic rate. As far as inflammation goes, your extracellular water ratio on your in-body needs to be in normal range. If it is elevated, there's many reasons for that, but that is going to be an indication to us that there's work to be done. So if you have metabolic dysfunction, this is a plan that you really want to stick to most of the time. You're eating really, protein, healthy fats, fruits and vegetables, and eliminating grains and carbs, most of the time. You can absolutely add it in on occasion, but when you have metabolic dysfunction, your body does not process sugars the way that it should. So we have to get you into a healthier metabolic state so that your body can do well with carbohydrates on an ongoing basis. So when you're more resilient, and again, you have improved metabolic dysfunction, now you have the ability to eat a more liberalized diet. You can add carbohydrates. You can add more carbohydrates and grains to your diet. So again, this is going to be important to us in assessing at your final visit, so that we can direct you in the right way, so that you can, maintain your current weight, or you can continue to lose. We're also going to look at different symptoms. The symptom assessment survey is going to give us insight as to, do you need some deeper, more testing done, because is there more foundational, deeper issues going on? So we suggest that you complete our symptom survey in Practice Better. We will send that to you. And then I'll talk a bit about our different testing that we offer if you want to dig a little bit deeper. So we offer the following specialty tests. MRT is our food sensitivity test. Food sensitivities are very important because every time you eat a food that you do not do well with, it elicits an inflammatory immune response. So when you can identify those foods that are causing those issues, that can really accelerate healing. Our GI map, comprehensive gut testing. I do many webinars on our GI map, but I mean, this is really going to give you insight into really what is going on. The gut is the foundation to the human body, so it's going to give you a snapshot of not only what's going on, but how we can be strategic in addressing things. Hormone testing, and then our newest test is our metabolic health panel, which has 17 different biomarkers that are typically never tested when you go to see your doctor. And there is so much that we can uncover by knowing certain things that are going on before, a disease manifests. We also have different condition-specific supplement protocols. So if you identify, if you at your final visit, can identify certain things that you're struggling with, we can point you in the right direction, whether it be the gut health and digestion, maybe you're having issues with stress and sleep, you're having hormonal issues, your immune system is sluggish, you want to build more muscle, you want to lose more fat. There's so many different ways that we can put together very high quality supplement protocols that can enhance your progress. So writing your plan, when you start to think about what your eating plan is going to look like, the first thing to think about is how often do you eat? How many meals do you eat in a day? Start to think about your calorie range based on, the BMR that we're going to talk to you about, your weight goals, your lifestyle, etc. Again, are there other foundational issues? Because oftentimes people that have other foundational issues, they lose weight to a point and then it stops because the body is resisting due to some imbalance. So if that continues to happen to you, then it would make sense to really start digging a little deeper. Add exercise, change it up. It doesn't have to be going to the gym. Exercise or activity can be or mean so many different things. And just, looking at certain habits that you're doing on a regular basis. Do we need to improve the habits or maybe tweak them a little bit? So we have different maintenance programs. And our maintenance programs are really going to dig deeper into like learning about the macros, really helping you create more specific customized plans, helping you grocery shop and prep, label reading, which is so important. But we also have different structured options set up. So if you wanted to, after you completed a program, if you still wanted to come in every 2 weeks, then we have kind of like a monthly fee that you would pay. And that would include a 20-minute nutrition strategy session. You would obviously do a weigh-in, but then every month we're doing an InBody. Or you could do a program that was just monthly visits. And you do get discounted pricing if you commit for a longer period of time. And again, at your monthly visits, it's going to be a 20-minute nutrition session and then a monthly InBody. So you know exactly what's going on as far as like your weight, your body fat, inflammation, etc. We also have our Metabolic Balance 365, which is our annual membership program that includes the 3 group metabolic resets per year. So you have the choice of HCG drops or injections, HCA, and HC2. Our very low monthly fee is pretty standard, but we do upcharge for the injections if you choose to do those. You also can do a lipo injection package or an InBody package, and all of this is relatively inexpensive, and you can talk to us and we can give you that specific pricing per your request. And last, I just wanted to mention our Sculpture. This is our laser fat reduction treatment. This is something that is recommended or ideal for somebody who's very close to their ideal body weight. This is not for someone who wants to lose weight and has a lot to lose. This is after you've completed a program, you feel really good, you're close to your body weight, but you still kind of have certain areas that won't budge. So this is a laser fat reduction treatment that the main areas would be upper and lower abdomen, like the flanks, handlebar type areas, your legs and your arms. And you can see some of the before and afters here. So it can be really, really helpful in kind of, putting the cherry on top of everything. And how our sculpture works, just a bit about it, because a lot of people are familiar with CoolSculpting, but sculpture is newer technology. It actually heats deep into the cellular layer, into the fat cells, rather than cools it. So it has targeted laser heat that, gets deep into the cells, destroys the structural integrity of the fat cells, and then over time the body just eliminates it through normal lymphatic detoxification. And these fat cells are permanently removed and will not regenerate. And the other benefit of laser heat versus CoolSculpting is that you get more of this smoothness because it's heat disperses, whereas cold is like contact, like it will only destroy the area that it's touching or penetrating, whereas heat actually disperses. So you have a much smoother look after the treatment. So this is something that if you want more information, we can definitely schedule some time to talk about that as well. And that's it. So in summary, there are many ways to improve your health. It is so important to change your mindset. We can't keep thinking that I can't have this, I shouldn't do that. Oh, that no longer can be part of my life. That is not what this is about. We have to change our mindset to what can I have in replace of that? What's going to be a better option for me here? Starting to find the things that you will be very surprised that fulfill you, and you're not living in that lack anymore. When you are making changes or continuing changes, don't try to do everything at once. Focus on 1 to 2 things and just really nail down on those things. Write them down. One thing I always do when I'm focusing on something is I'll put stickies on my mirrors, on my refrigerator. So when I wake up, it's always in my head. And that you're telling your brain, and then your brain drives a lot of behaviors. So that's something to think about. And if you are getting to a point where you're eating well, you're exercising, and you're just still stuck, well, that's probably a good time to start talking about, going deeper into some foundational issues. Understanding that achieving health and wellness is absolutely a process. It's not about perfection. We're growing and learning every single day. I'm growing and learning every single day. And that's really what this human experience is about. So your job now is to start really thinking about your next steps. How can you best prepare for your final results so that we can help support you in your next phase in this journey? Thank you so much.